I thought I'd put this back together with y'all. I started this once and I had to stop because I dropped my gasket. And it's a fairly small O-ring right there. Anyway, a big win today. This shaft was bent and I couldn't figure out how to get it straightened, and finally came up with this method. Put a socket on that end, put a socket on that end, put it in the vise. Put it in the vise, and got me a bar, put it on the high spot and cranked the vise closed, straightened it. You got to enjoy the wins when you get them. So we got that. Okay, so let's go with the gasket first. The gasket goes down on there. Try not to get it all messed up going across all those threads. Okay, that goes on there first, and then the little flat washer goes on. I know when you put it on, you're thinking it doesn't make any sense, but trust me. And that washer doesn't show up in the service manual. And then you've got this piece with your O-ring in it, and the spring goes in the cup. Put that on, the spring is pointing out. And then your nut will adjust that spring down. It'll all come into contact with that. And then the manual calls out for a gap of 40 thousandths in your play in this assembly here on the end of this shaft. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there's the nuts coming up there. See that gap right there? That's supposed to be 40 thousandths. So I've got an old spark plug gapper, and not ideal, but really close. It looks like 40 thousandths. 40 thousandths doesn't look like much, does it? Yeah, it gets tight right there. So we're going to call that good. We're going to call that 40 thousandths. And then this little guy with the little grooves in it, that goes down like yay. Springs down in there. This goes down in there like yay. I already put the spring assembly back on top of this unit, and I think I'm just going to leave it there. You can see how the spring attaches underneath the spacer, and then it clips over this keeper. So I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to take that back apart for the sake of this video. Whoops. Whoops. And then get your itty bitty screwdriver out with a razor's edge to put in your little set screw. Can you see that? Whoever came up with this design, I'm just like, wow. It's so cool. There was a time in this country's history that we weren't focused on computers. We were focused on building things. It was a good time. We built a lot of things. Yeah, buddy. And then last but not least, the little nut that goes up on top here. Goes down there. Little lock nut for your clevis. And then there you go. Set of brake cylinders for early Cessna. Isn't that awesome? I love that stuff. That's some great design right there. That's some great work. I don't have any extra pieces laying out here. I must be done.